Hey everyone, what's up? It's your host, and today I'm gonna be discussing a cool idea that came to me. Now, as the power creep got a hold of Naruto, and everyone started using these over-the-top flashy avatars, it made us forget that this was a show about ninja at some point. Trained professionals known for stealth, espionage, and operating in secrecy in order to achieve their goals. And since we're not talking about normal ninja, and almost every character is blessed with supernatural abilities, we get these very unique and creative jutsu that can be used for spying and deception. Something that I personally found to be really cool about the franchise. So I've decided today that I'll be ranking the top 10 ninja best at spying, espionage, and deception. In order to determine the rank, I'll be taking into consideration any jutsu that the character has that aids them in stealth, as well as the character's reputation itself, as in how conniving, deceptive, and secretive the shinobi is. If topics like this pique your interest, I highly suggest that you subscribe if you haven't already, and otherwise, let's begin. This may be a surprising entry, but Shino's arsenal makes him perfect for tracking and spying, and that's due to the Aburame clan's trained insects. Honestly, Shino can be swapped out with any of his clansmen and it'd be fine. It's the insects that I'm after here. Being able to manipulate hordes of insects makes you ideal for reconnaissance missions. There's a reason that so many from the Aburame clan would get recruited into the Foundation. You can use the insects to transport messages back, and the insects aren't usually easy to detect, making them the perfect spies. Jiraiya the Toad Sage. One thing he was renowned for was his skills in espionage, and that's why he was confident in infiltrating the rain all by himself. The reason is because of his frog summonings jutsu. Jiraiya used small toad summons for infiltration missions, where he'd hide inside the frog. The frog can also use the transformation jutsu and present itself as a common place, like a bar for example, and then Jiraiya can have the frog shrink down to its original size. That's how Jiraiya would abduct enemy ninja in order to interrogate them for intel. Even though Jiraiya was a master of this, he wasn't the best and got caught shortly after. But in his defense, there was no way he could have known that the rain was controlled by Nagato. Overall, I think a fair ranking for Jiraiya. Returning viewers of the channel will remember that I made a video about Conan very recently, and there's one jutsu I talked about then that earns Conan a spot on this list, the dance of the Shikigami. Conan is able to separate into several individual pieces of origami paper shaped like butterflies. Each origami paper carries Conan's consciousness, which means that she can observe over a very wide range, making it perfect for catching the intruder. The paper can then merge to form a portion of Conan's body. It's kinda like the Aburame clan's jutsu, except, they're not real butterflies, and the Aburame clansmen aren't made up of insects. Conan implies that she'd been studying Obito, so it's possible that she used this technique to spy on him. Now, I couldn't make a list about conniving, deceitful people without mentioning this guy. When it comes to espionage, mixed with a complete lack of morality, and putting one's personal goals above all else, you get the Master of Deceit. Unlike the aforementioned entries, Danzo's not here due to his own skills, but because he's the chief of his own spy agency, the Foundation. And he's also always meddling with political affairs and manipulating anyone to get his way. An example of this is how he sent Sai to tag along Team 7 with a secret task that takes priority over the Hokage's order and jeopardizes the mission. or how he manipulated Hanzo into ambushing the Akatsuki, or how he's covered up Orochimaru's ongoing abduction of children for experimentation with the first Hokage's DNA. Danzo's motto in itself was that operating in the shadows and never seeing the light of day was the true figure of a shinobi. There was no one more conniving than this guy. Now the reason that I didn't rank him any higher is because, like the L that he is, Danzo fails in his deception strategy. He gets caught in 4K by Ao, and his plans of becoming the supreme commander of the allied shinobi force goes down the drain. Sasori of the Red Sand is actually a master of espionage, and he has a network of spies working for him throughout the shinobi world, mostly in the hidden sand, through his use of the sand brainwash jutsu. I explained this jutsu in greater detail in my unique Akatsuki abilities video, but basically, Sasori pierces the memory center of the brain with tiny needles that seal the subordinates' memories, so that Sasori's spy forgets that he's a spy altogether. This technique was meant for long-term infiltration missions, so that the subject can live for extended periods of time in the enemy camp. Hence, once Sasori reactivates the needles, and the spy's memories of being a spy are re-invoked, he can perform his mission without anyone suspecting them as a spy. This means that Sasori has an efficient system of intelligence through his subjects. Sasori is also a master of disguise, and he uses the Hiroko puppet to hide his real identity, hence why his underlings didn't know what he looked like. Only his former partners and his grandma knew of his true form. The reason he's not placed higher is because he was also caught lacking when his alleged underling Kabuto turned out to be a double agent and was leading Sasori to an ambush at the Tenshi Bridge. Orochimaru, being renowned as a mad scientist that dabbles in the occasional human experimentation and being involved in so many political scandals, also being so well connected that he had secret hideouts all over the shinobi world. Orochimaru was always a master of manipulation and deceit. He had a network of shinobi that had pledged unwavering loyalty to him, and like Sasori, he had spies working all around for him. If you remember part 1, Orochimaru had his paws in everything. Spies in the Leaf Village, spies in the Akatsuki. He was doing research 24/7 with stolen secret scrolls and forbidden jutsu, experimenting with the Sharingan and the first Hokage cells. He was so conniving and manipulative that he had a meeting with the Kazekage to conspire against the Leaf, and then he had another secret meeting where he killed and impersonated the Kazekage, and no one in the sand found out until after the invasion. Plus, he's known for disguising himself often. Remember when he ripped the faces off of some Chunin exam participants just to fuck with Team 7? Yeah, Orochimaru's just that guy. There's only a few characters more skilled in espionage and deceit than Itachi Uchiha. Itachi's role as a spy is so consistent that he spent most of his life serving as a double agent. He first served as the Uchiha clan's pipeline to the village. He was made to become an Anbu just for the Uchiha clan to gather intel, and the irony when the village assigned him with the reverse mission, in keeping tabs on his clan. So deceit was a part of Itachi's identity. Let's not forget that he led the entire village, as well as his brother, to believe that he was this monster that slaughtered his entire clan on a whim as an egomaniac, rather than the true complex nature of the situation. His role as a double agent didn't end there either, and he'd be tasked with infiltrating the Akatsuki in order to protect the Leaf. So yeah, Itachi spent most of his life as a spy. That's why he was able to sympathize with Kabuto so much. His arsenal also makes him ideal for espionage. He can summon and control multiple crows, which is how he was able to track Naruto so easily. And his Sharingan gives him the ability to go through a person's mind, makes gathering intel as easy as a glance, and with his use of Genjutsu, he can essentially just erase himself from someone's mind like a phantom dream. Now this guy actually spent his entire life as a spy and was sent all over the 5 great nations. Even when we were first introduced to him, he was deceiving us and Team 7 about his true affiliation. Matter of fact, he'd gotten so good at masking his identity that he would end up with major identity issues in the latter half of the series when his mentor Orochimaru would get absorbed by Sasuke. Kabuto was first recruited as a spy by the Foundation in an attempt to relieve his foster mother Nona from the duties that she had been reinstated to. And after the Foundation tried to tie up loose ends, Orochimaru takes Kabuto under his wing, and now Kabuto was an agent for the Hidden Sound. He would be used as a chess piece and double spy for Orochimaru and the Akatsuki. Sasori thought that Kabuto was the ideal spy, and he said that he was just like one of his puppets, can erase his sound, sight, even himself. Kabuto was also so skilled in espionage that he was able to take the Chunin exams several times under everyone's nose. Working as Orochimaru's assistant meant that he was also very well connected, had all sorts of DNA and data in his grasp, knew the secrets about the Uchiha and their dojutsu, and was able to collect DNA of famous shinobi from all over and use it to form his army of the undead. He was also one of the very few people that knew Tobi's true identity, and he used it to blackmail him into an alliance. If there was ever a master of deceit, it's this guy. Now, I doubt I have to explain why Obito ranks as high as number 2. Let's not forget that this is the same guy that deceived the entire world into thinking that he's the infamous Madara Uchiha. And even before that, he was taking on the identity of a goofball. So there was no one better at deception. He's also a master of manipulation, infiltration, and espionage. He was able to put the 4th Mizukage under Genjutsu and manipulate him for years, without anyone knowing. He also meddled with political affairs frequently, and was stated to have manipulated some of the Uchiha clan members to push for the coup d'etat, and was basically the main guy behind the scenes for most of Shippuden, secretly running the Akatsuki right under everyone's nose. Another reason for Obito ranking this high is because of how well suited his arsenal is for espionage. On top of possessing very powerful Genjutsu, Obito's Kamui is the best ability that a spy could have. He can infiltrate any place with ease, regardless of how well fortified it is. He can also mask his entire presence and reappear at will. This ability makes him unstoppable and best suited for infiltration, reconnaissance, espionage, anything of that nature. The only reason he's not ranked any higher is because regardless of how slippery he is, the number 1 entry is just that much more slippery, deceitful, secretive, and diabolical. And now we get to Zetsu, the perfect spy, the true master of espionage, and the most deceitful being in the show. Both the black and white halves worked together as the Akatsuki spy, because like Obito, Zetsu had the best suited set of abilities for the task. White Zetsu's plant-like makeup gave him the ability to move through the ground, and even through solid surfaces. This is what made him perfect for infiltration and gathering intel. White Zetsu had another ability that was perfect for manipulation and deception. It could create an indistinguishable clone that even Sensory Ninja can't tell apart from the original. With that jutsu, the White Zetsu would disguise themselves as allies and invade enemy camps, and they would cause mass hysteria and confusion. And the black half is even somehow more deceitful. Black Zetsu was a master of manipulation and has been manipulating the entire past millennium of shinobi. It didn't possess the Sharingan, yet it managed to not only read the contents of the Uchiha stone tablet left by the sage, but alter it to have the Uchiha do his bidding and revive Kaguya back. Zetsu also has unique abilities like how it can record all the events that it witnessed, or how it can blend in or merge with its surroundings and completely mask its presence, making it difficult for even the most skilled sensory ninja to detect. Black Zetsu itself said it was one with the earth. Black Zetsu could also manifest its will and subtly manipulate the person it latches on to, or even forcibly control the body if weakened enough, like with Obito. Black Zetsu was also considered the best sensor, as it could sense specific chakra signals, like the Jinchuriki or the reincarnates several miles away. Based on all that, I think it's earned the #1 entry. And these are my entries for the best spies in Naruto. And in all honesty, with how the power progression was in the series, I'm glad that they still kept the ninja element running with all these cool techniques that have interesting or creative plays on espionage. If you think there's a character I missed that deserves to be on this list, then please do let me know that in the comments. But other than that, I think I'm done for the day. Make sure you check out the rest of my channel, and I'll see you guys next time.